Guys, sorry it has been so long since I've updated you guys. Welcome to my 1 month post-op video. So much has been going on this past month as far as me recovering from surgery, and then I had a couple of other things going on. But anyway, I'm just gonna jump right into this update video. I know it's long overdue, so if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes because I had to write out some things. My surgery date was May 14th, 2018, and I had my surgery at CMC Mercy, and that's downtown Charlotte. My surgeon was Dr. Gerson, and he's with Carolina's Weight Management. If you're here in Charlotte, it's just a CMC office, but his main office is on 7th Street, and the second location is in Ballantyne. That's the office that I went to because I live near there. But other than Dr. Gerson, he was really cool. He's very laid back. He's like a typical doctor. He doesn't talk a lot unless you talk a lot, but he was very helpful. Their staff there was very helpful, all of the nurses and everybody that worked in the office. So if you're in Charlotte or the surrounding areas, really, because I think he goes to Gastonia, Shelby, all the other places, but he's really good. And there are other doctors in that office, but if you don't get him, the entire office is good, period. But a little bit about my stats. Let me just put this up. So I started my 2-week diet. I believe it was April 30th, maybe. I can't remember. I think it was the end of April. I started out at 275 pounds. I probably would have never said that before now, but now that I'm not that anymore, I'm like, whatever. I've grown. But I was 275. Between the 2 weeks and my surgery date, I lost only 7 pounds, but everybody's like, oh, don't say only, you still did good. So I lost 7 pounds, and so surgery date, I was 268. Surgery date, again, was May 14th. I lost between that day and 2 weeks post-op, I lost about 15 pounds. So I weighed in about 253. And then 1 month, today, I am 243. So in all, I've lost 32 pounds. But since surgery, it's been 25 pounds. I think that's right. So anyway, back to doing the surgery. So I had my surgery. I didn't even do a vlog that day. I wanted to, but I started out recording and then everything kind of got hectic that morning. So my surgery was set for 12 p.m. that afternoon, and I was supposed to be at the hospital by 10 a.m. So I woke up like I was going to work. Same time I would wake up every morning, got a shower, straightened up and stuff because I knew I wasn't going to want to clean up once I got back home. So I got everything together. I couldn't eat or drink anything, so I just kind of sat around and waited for my husband to wake up and get his shower so we could leave. So in my mind, I was like, we need to leave by a certain time because Charlotte traffic is a beast. We would have had to take in 77 to get downtown from here. So 77 at any point during the day is backed up for no apparent reason. So I was like, we need to at least leave 45 minutes early, if not an hour early. I was like, I don't want to be late at all. So we ended up leaving probably around 9 a.m. and I was right. Traffic was backed up. We didn't get there until almost 10 o'clock. And while we were in the car on 77, the nurse from the hospital called and she was just like, well, Dr. Gerson is moving pretty quick today. If you're here, we'll go ahead and get you back and get you going this morning. And I'm like, wait, first of all, First of all, you can't spring that on me because in my mind I'm like 12 p.m. Like that's when things are happening. Like I'm not mentally prepared for earlier. So we get to the hospital. As soon as I get there, they check me in. They go over my insurance. They go over the payment, and that was it. So I'm sitting in the waiting room, and then as soon as I sit down, another nurse comes out and she was like, we'll take you back to pre-op. And I'm just like, wait, I didn't even get to sit here and talk to my husband. And my mom was there at the time too. She met us at the hospital, and I was just like, things were just moving so fast, and I couldn't mentally believe it. I was like, wait, what am I about to do? So while they were in the waiting room, I went back to pre-op. They got me set up, like I got changed into my gown. I had to put the little bonnet thing on. They did a port in this arm and then a port in this arm. So apparently, I don't know if that's standard for every hospital, but at CMC Mercy, they say they put 2 ports in just in case one goes bad, then they can go to the next one. So that kind of makes sense, but I'm just iffy about ports. And every time I think about ports, my grandfather was in the hospital and he had to get a port in his neck because his veins were, I think a vein collapsed in his arm or something like that. I don't know. I just don't like ports. But I had 2 of them in. They went over my history. They went over my medical history. They went over, I don't even know what else. The anesthesiologist came in. That was probably the longest one. He just came in and was telling me about anesthesia. Talking about the side effects, like how some people are still affected like a month or so after, which I'm still affected by it. Like a lot of things taste like metal, and I have a metal taste in my mouth. Like I have the metal taste in my mouth right now, and it's not as bad as it was in the beginning because I guess I'm used to it now, but hopefully it's gonna leave soon. But I'm trying to think what else they did, because at some point during pre-op I was a little out of it. So I do remember the anesthesiologist coming in. I remember the nurse coming back in right after they left because he asked me if I wanted to do a block. I can't remember what a block is. I just know it's like a shot that he did in my stomach, and I think it was to block like a lot of pain maybe. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But it's some kind of block they give you. It's a shot in your stomach, and then after that, I think they take you right to the OR. I think they don't give you the block and wait around. So once they did that, then they told my husband and my mom they had to leave the room, and then they could come back in. Well, as soon as they finished the block, the nurse came back in and she was like, well, we can go ahead and take you back to the operating room. And I was like, wait, my husband and mom are coming back. Like, I have to see them first. And so I don't even really remember them coming back, but apparently they did. My husband was like, yeah, we were talking. And I was like, I don't remember it. So I don't remember them coming back. I vaguely remember them rolling me into like a super bright room, and it was just white, and I think it was a lot of people in there. I can't know for sure, but I guess they went ahead. I'm guessing like the anesthesia kicked in and I went to sleep and they did the surgery. I know they did the surgery because I can't eat a lot of food and I'm dropping weight. But after the surgery, I do remember being in recovery. I remember waking up a little bit during recovery. And the only reason why I woke up because it was like these loud nurses over me talking, and that's what woke me up. But then I ended up going right back to sleep. As soon as that was over, my husband told me they took me to my room upstairs, and I kind of remember being rolled to my room because those same nurses that were super loud were loud in the elevator, and I remember hearing it, and I remember kind of seeing being rolled into the room because I saw my in-laws, my mom and my husband and my brother-in-law. And then after that, I was knocked out for the rest of the evening. Like Jason said, I think I got to my room around 3 maybe, 3 or 4. I don't think I fully woke up until about 10 that night. And I think by that time, like, everybody was gone. My mom was still there, my husband was still there, but my in-laws and my aunt came by. I do kind of remember my aunt trying to talk to me while I was in the room, but again, I was out of it. Like, that was the very first surgery I've ever had in my whole entire life, so I think anesthesia for me just kind of took me all the way out. But other than that, like, everything went well with the surgery. I didn't have any complications with that. I did, however, end up with post-op pneumonia. So that, along with having a really high heart rate and low oxygen levels, that's what kept me in the hospital longer than what I should have been. So typically with weight loss surgery, you have your surgery done and then you go home the next day. Well, I was in there for some days, and that itself was really tough because I was not mentally prepared for that. I grew restless. I remember the very last day, whenever they sent me home, I was just so tired of being in the hospital, being in bed, being hooked up to all these IVs, having like this heart monitor. Like, I was just tired of all of it. And I remember, I think it was like 4 or 5 o'clock that morning, and I was trying to make myself get up and walk around, even though the nurses didn't want me to walk around, because every time I moved, even going to the bathroom, my heart rate shot up to 125 to 130, and your heart rate normally is not supposed to be over 100. The range is between 60 and 100. So anything over 100, your heart is working super hard, and that's bad. So I had just got back into bed because the nurse was like, well, your heart rate went back up, so just go ahead and lay back down. And I just remember, I broke down. I just started crying, and my husband was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. But it wasn't anything either one of us could do. It was, I guess I just had to run it. Everything had to run its course. I am, looking back on it now, I am grateful that I did stay in the hospital longer, or I had to stay in the hospital longer than what I did, because I was able to be on fluids longer than the typical person. So I didn't have any issues with being dehydrated after surgery because I had constant fluids running through me. Once I got home, though, it changed a little, but I was able to progress quicker than what others would progress normally. So I was able to drink. They were giving me like the small bottles of water when I was in the hospital. Like, I moved up to like the regular size water by the time I got home, I guess because I was more hydrated than what anybody else would be. So I am thankful for that. And then I think that kind of boosted going from soft foods to normal foods quicker. But I don't know. It just kind of worked out. But I did meet with my nutritionist this week, and she did say the same thing. Because I was on fluids a little bit longer, it kind of gave me a head start. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm still losing weight, so nothing was wrong with it. So what I consume in a day now, I do my Premier proteins. I don't know if you can see this. It's super right, but it's the Premier Protein. This is the strawberries and cream, and it's 30 grams, so I'm supposed to be getting 80 grams of protein a day. I do drink 2 of these, so that's 60, and then I try to eat, like I'll eat some salmon or something like that. I cannot, for some reason, digest chicken. Chicken is the devil. Anytime I've experienced dumping syndrome, it was because of chicken. I had, last Friday actually, my husband had a taste for Wild Wings, and so we went there, and I was just like, I don't really want anything here, but I did order off the kids menu. I got the grilled chicken strips and broccoli. So I ate majority of the broccoli, and then I ate like a half a strip. They only give you 2 strips. So I ate half of one, and literally 2 hours later, like everything came back up. Like it was the worst. And I was just like, I don't think I ever want chicken again. But that was one time I had the dumping syndrome. Another time, I can't think. Well, we went to the beach last week, and I think the smell of garlic triggers something for me. Like, I was never a huge garlic eater before surgery, and I haven't consumed it as of yet, but when I smell it, it triggers something, and for some reason, I'll throw up. So I just recently started back eating the Cliff Bars, and this has been in my purse. Like I said, I don't eat this all the time, but this is the crunchy peanut butter one, and I ate half of one the other day, and I didn't throw it up, so it was pretty good. Other than that, I will drink the Lipton Diet Green Tea Citrus. This is really good. It's 0 calories, 0 fat. It is 170 sodium, carbohydrates 0, sugar 0, protein 0, vitamin C 210%, but I only drink one a day. Everything else I drink out of this Yeti cup. So my water, I'll probably drink 2 of these, probably the first half of the day, and I'll try and drink one more in the evening. But other than that, I can't remember how big this is. This is just it's not the tumbler, it's like the next one up. But other than that, that's pretty much all I consume. Everything has been going great. I'm going to try my best to get on a regular schedule to update you guys and keep you posted on my weight loss journey, how much weight I'm losing, what I'm eating, things of that nature. I do kind of want to transition into fashion vlogs because I feel like now I'm going to try my best to be more presentable, which I've always been presentable, but I want to venture out and wear like brighter colors and not wear black so much. So I don't know, I'm gonna sit down and try and figure out a schedule that I can stick with. Other than that, I believe that's it. Oh, you guys like my little haircut? I figured since I'm on this new journey, I may as well look like a new woman. But, I mean, the weave may be back in the fall. But this looks good for summertime, and it's cool. But anyways, I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much for your love and messages. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.